It is another player signing here in the month of August, and guess who's back? By popular demand, I've seen his name come up everywhere whenever we announce a signing. People say, sign Lincoln Griffin, announce Lincoln Griffin. Well, Lincoln Griffin has re-signed with the Cyclones, and Griff, it's pretty crazy, man. You go from, and we talked about it last year, you go from being kind of casted off in Greenville to immediately a fan favorite and one of the top producers on the Cyclones. You finished third on the team in a tie for third with goals, scoring 22. Your career just sort of soared when you came to Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, when Painter brought me in and kind of gave me that chance, I, uh, I, I'd like to say I kind of played well with that, and I couldn't have done it without my teammates, especially the leaders. Bringing me in, I was kind of all nervous and anxious because I've been up and down, in the SP and in the coast, so I was kind of just all over the place, but I really settled in, and I kind of found a home, in Cincy.
Pretty cool place to be too. I mean, and not that Greenville's a bad spot either. And you were in Knoxville in the SPHL, which we don't talk about that league a lot, but there are a couple of sleeper markets there that are pretty nice. But where does Cincy rank? I guess in a way you're pretty fortunate because I think all the spots you've been in pro hockey have been decent towns.
Yeah, I haven't been to any of the bottom towns, I'd like to say. But, Cincy's definitely up there. I'd put it at 2 behind Boston.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. The Mass kid here, of course, out of Walpole, Massachusetts. And Griff, talking about Cincinnati and talking about this team, what's cool, as you were saying there just a moment ago, is like you were nervous, you were unsure, and prior to getting to Cincinnati, like, hey, man, it could have been, hey, you're going from Greenville to Cincy, and you play bad for 3 games, you're back in the SPHL. You took advantage of your opportunity here and went from being I think Greenville would have maybe viewed you as more of a bubble guy in the coast, to being an everyday top minutes player, special teams opportunities, and a producer. I mean, when you talk about the nerves, are those some of the things that maybe creep into your mind? Is like, okay, you're only going to get so many opportunities. This could be my last one in the ECHL.
Yeah, it's definitely in the back of your mind. But like I said, once I got there, the boys kind of brought me in and kind of treated me like family. So that definitely helped. And then once I got the opportunity, playing with some good players, I capitalized on it. So thank God.
That's awesome. And I mean, you really did. You were kind of up and down the lineup too. I think toward the end of the year you were a lot of times paired with Matt McLeod. Is it fun to keep up with him on the ice?
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. And then with Louis in the middle, it was a good line.
Yeah, it really was. And all three of you guys kind of having your own pieces. When you got here, like I said, man, you blew up. Like you became a fan favorite because the puck was in the back of the net. As soon as it went onto your stick, you were scoring goals. I mean, how much fun was that initial run? Not to mention that, and people sometimes forget about this, like you were here for, I guess, if you want to call it the heyday of our season. We had a 9-game point streak, 5-game winning streak sandwiched in there, all doing so while a ton of guys were out due to COVID, AHL call-ups. I mean, it's funny because in our most adverse time of the season, the Cyclones played their best hockey.
Yeah, we had a crazy time then, but it's kind of the next guy up mentality. If you get your opportunity, you try to capitalize on it, and I think everyone did in the lineup.
So let's circle back as we talk about the players. I feel like the fans have to come in there. I think of the overtime goal against Fort Wayne. You were going
Yep.
nuts. And
Yeah.
that was a big game. That was a really big game to win. We got that one there for some of those January crowds. I mean, scoring against your former team is always fun.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any kind of moments that stick out to you in particular? I hope I didn't spoil it by naming some of them. I feel like the OT one, I'm going to guess, is maybe up there,
Yeah,
number
that'll
one.
probably be it. That a rink was just buzzing. Former team, um, And then just all the games with the big beer towers, you gotta love that. And then someone knocks it over and the crowd goes nuts. It's a lot of fun there, though.
Hey, so okay, speaking on the dollar beer nights, it's funny because I don't think I've asked a player this. Like, you'll hear this roar in the crowd. And if you're on the bench, whether it's, you're looking over, hearing something from the coach, you're trying to listen to what coach is telling you, or maybe you're looking down and you're, taking a sip of Gatorade. All of a sudden you hear this big roar and you're, human nature to just look up and be like, okay, what did I miss? I was like, oh, a beer tower went down. Like,
Yeah.
is that, I mean, did that ever happen?
A couple times, and then you kind of start getting used to it. But if I was the away team, and had no idea, I'd be looking every single time.
What are your thoughts? I mean, we talk about the crowds and how rowdy they get, and it's kind of different crowds. Like your dollar beer nights have some crazies out there in all the fun ways, and then you'll see more families come out on the weekends. But typically on the weekend, you're getting 8, 9, sometimes 10,000 fans. I mean, what was it like? And in comparison to some of the other spots you've been in pro hockey, minus Boston, what has it been like, and what was it like to experience the crowds here at Heritage Bank Center?
I'd say honestly, it was probably number one. But maybe besides college, but like you said, that doesn't count. So no, it was crazy though. Just looking up in the stands and having every seat almost full. Them bringing the energy kind of gave us a little jump too. So it definitely helped us out.
So going into this season again, you had 22 goals at the end of last year. Also had 2 points in the 7-game playoff series. Now, for as fun as it is, I've seen you downstairs. I know you're one of maybe ritual where you're very, very dialed into your preparation and getting game ready. Now, at the tail end of the season, I feel like the points started to kind of fall off a little bit, where the production wasn't where I know you'd certainly liked it to be. I mean, are those areas of your game that you look at? I mean, as you go from this year, where I think last season you're like, okay, I want to be an everyday ECHL player. That's probably first and foremost my goal, is I want to stick here, and then I want to continue to develop and see if I can get a shot at the AHL level. Now you're coming into this season as an everyday ECHL player. And I think the expectation is to produce. How do you kind of evaluate yourself from last season to this season, be it goals, expectations, things of that nature?
Just in the off season, whether it's working out, being on the ice, working on little things, new things that, the skills coach that I work with has for me. Um, Even kind of going over, past games or just talking it out with him. I think that'll help me tremendously. And then kind of seeing where I dropped off a bit. It's a long, grueling season. So I think kind of, you know, just worrying about keeping my body and things like that, kind of more prime for later in the season, whether it's cold tubs or whatever they give you. I think that'll help, towards the end of the season.
Is it fair to say too? I mean, we're talking about things you can look at and ways you can get better. Is it at all fair to say, hey, maybe one of the things that made it tough toward the end of the season is I haven't played that many games in a year, in a long time, because when you were in the SPHL, it was a reduced season. It's a 56-game regular season on a normal year anyway, so already significantly shorter than the coast. Then you're in college again, probably playing anywhere from 30, 40 games on a really high end in a season. So, not to mention there was this thing called COVID where people weren't getting ice time in their off season and able to continue their routines as they had normally been accustomed to. So, I mean, is it fair to say that maybe the biggest adjustment is simply, okay, now I know what it's like to play 60, 70 plus games a season and I'll be ready to go?
Yes, exactly. I think you got it spot on. You kind of, have to know what to do with your body, how to treat it, and even just preparing for the start of the season, whether it's getting on the ice more right before or whatnot.
So going into this season, everybody's having a long off season to get it more on the casual side. I know you're working a bit. Can you tell us, what are you doing up on the Northeast now to kind of keep yourself busy this summer?
Well, I'd like to say I'm away from the rink doing some, maybe hotel business like Brownie, but I'm just not. So I'm coaching and I run some skills almost every day, except the weekends. So that's what I'm doing. It's, from 9-year olds to about 15.
So you watch the other podcasts.
I saw his little clip on the Instagram. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you trying to say that you want to get into the hotel business, or you're looking for a connection to go up?
Well, I did go to school for business management, so I've been in Brownie's ear a little bit.
All right, nice, nice. So there's some things coming down the pipeline here.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm more of a blue collar worker though. He's white collar.
Okay. Well, I take offense to that. That's what I'm doing. Griff, as we get toward the end here, the thing is, and I think this is worth asking you, when you have a productive season, you get eyes, you get the attention of other teams. I doubt that only the Cyclones would have been interested if somebody saw that, hey, a guy with 20 plus goals and nearly 50 points is available. So when did you officially sign with the Cyclones? Obviously, all these announcements are coming after the fact. So when did you officially sign with the Cyclones, and what led you to that decision? Was there any contemplation on looking at what else is out there, or were you pretty convinced that you were coming back here?
I don't remember the exact date. It was probably 3 weeks to a month, probably a month ago. But no, there was no hesitation, no doubt in my mind that if I was coming back here or come back in the East Coast, that it would be with Cincy.
Well, I know the Cyclones are happy to have you back. Last thing before we let you go, you're a fun guy who likes to have fun. Tell us about some of the things that tell us some of the things that you're allowed to talk about when it comes to Cincinnati. Any go-to spots for you? Viber was talking about getting some of the guys to try Skyline Chili last year. I know some did, some didn't. Where were you on that boat? Tell me a little bit.
On Skyline Chili?
Tell me a little bit. Well, I can already tell your answer isn't going to be.
I'm out on Skyline. I've never tried it, but I don't know. That's not me.
All right.
Some of the spots. Well, I mean, for opening day, any spot downtown, right outside of the stadium was definitely hopping. So that's probably my favorite day, other than the hockey.
If it works out this year, based on our schedule, I think there's a shot that we'll be here for opening day. I think there's a chance, but we'll see.
I hope so. I hope I can get to a Bengals game too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you missed out last year, so hopefully. Well, we got a couple of Sundays off earlier in the season, so maybe a chance to get over there. I would say Palm Brown Stadium. They just changed it. I think it's Paycor Stadium now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to text Joey B to see
there you
if
go. Yeah.
some tickets.
There you go. All right, Griff. Well, certainly a personality. It's one of the things that made you a fan favorite, along with your scoring touch. And I know the fans are looking forward to having you back here. They'll get their first chance to take a look at you and the rest of the 22-23 Cyclones on Saturday, October 29th. It is first face-off against the Iowa Heartlanders. Fans can go to cycloneshockey.com to get their tickets. We're just a couple months away from that. Lincoln Griffin, the newest player signing and another returnee to the Cyclones for this season. Griff, good catching up with you, man. And we'll see you here in a couple of months.
Always a pleasure, Mosser. Appreciate it.